Hey y'all, good afternoon. I hope you had a great Tuesday. My hair is a friggin' hot mess. So I'm gonna see if some people pop on before I start talking. Normally the afternoons I'm like dead, but today, right after school, I forced myself to go run, even though I don't like running right behind school for really stupid reasons. But my ex-husband and his family used to live back there, and so there's just a lot of memories back there, so I just don't really like it. But what I've realized is that I run so much faster and I push myself more when I run back there. So I'm not going to make a habit of it, but I didn't get to really work out yesterday because my husband didn't get home in time before the sun went down, so I didn't want that to happen today. So anyway, I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about 4 reasons that people fail in this business. And I know there's like a little fire emoji after it, and I don't want you to think like I put that because it's like a good thing. I put it because I am like on fire about this, because I've never listened to something that wasn't more true than what I just listened to. So for those of you that have been doing this program with me, you know that I am so big on personal development, right? So I no longer really listen to music while I work out, unless like if I'm lifting, I listen to music. Anyway, I'm telling y'all all about my life. I'm just all over the place right now. But while I run and while I work out, I've found that if I'm listening to a training that someone in Scentsy has done, or if I'm listening to a podcast or something motivational, that I get done with my run and I'm like on fire to do something for my business. Because even when I'm really tired, you've got to create energy to get energy. So I just finished, I literally have listened to every Rachel Hollis podcast. There's no new ones. I've listened to both of her books, and I have been searching for the last couple of days. I've been really like struggling to find something to listen to that I'm not going to get bored of while I'm running, because, you know, when you're doing cardio, you need something, right? So I've been searching, and I'm real big on audiobooks. So I've been previewing them, and I bought the audiobook called Get Over Your Damn Self. And I bet a lot of people have heard of that book. And I think I actually bought the book version of that a while back. But I mean, I've got 2 kids, I'm running a business, and all of the other things. I don't really have time to sit down and read. So I bought that book, and I'm only through the first, like the introduction, the first chapter, and I'm telling you right now that I have a fire lit under me, because I know exactly that, or I felt like she was speaking directly to me with some of these things, and then I could literally picture team members, or people in my downline, or even just other leaders that I know that have went through these things and have let themselves not fail, because we're all still here, but they've really struggled with it. So the first rule, or the first reason that people fail at this business, is because they're not coachable. Not being coachable is the worst thing that you can do when you join this business, because we as leaders, and I know any of the leaders on here, I've seen lots of different directors and star directors and superstar directors pop on here. None of us are going to ask you to do something that we don't know works. We don't ask you to make your list of 100 and personally reach out to people just because we feel like it's the right thing to do. We know it works. We've been there, we've done it. We know it works. We don't tell you to go do your first things first checklist and have a home launch party because we feel like it. We're telling you because we know that is what works. So not being coachable is you are your own biggest enemy when it comes to not being coachable. If you are feeling like you can't be successful in this business, and if you feel like you're a superstar director and you can't still be coached, I hate to break it to you, honey, but you can be. And I hope that I really don't care if I offend anybody, just because that's who I am as a person. But I believe, even as a teacher, as a mom, as anything, if you're not coachable and you're not learning and you're not self-reflecting on what you're doing and what you can do better, you're never going to grow. Like, You're not. You're going to stay stagnant, and nothing is ever going to change because the world is constantly changing. And if you're not being coachable and you're not learning, you're going to fail because, I mean, it's just the way things are. I can't do things the exact same way that I did when I first started because social media is different. My customer base is different. Everybody that was my customer is now on my team. So you have to be coachable. And that is just listen to us. If you're a newbie, or even if you're not a newbie and you've been doing this business and you just can't figure out why you haven't found success, you need to ask yourself if you're being coachable. Are you being coachable? Are you feeding your brain? Are you listening to people in your upline or even within your company or whatever that tell you to do things? If you're not doing those things, then that's the first reason why you may not be finding success, is because you're not being coachable. I have coaching calls with Chloe. You have to have coaching calls. If you have been with this business for a while, then you need to be reaching out to your leader or whoever to coach you up on the things that you need to do, because I believe that every single person can do better in this business. Okay? So the first rule is not being coachable. You need to coach yourself. You need to coach your team. And I promise you that we as leaders are not going to ask you to do something that we're not willing to do ourselves and that we don't know works. Okay? The second reason that people do not find success or they fail at this business is because they do not treat this like a business. Guys, if you treat this like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. And if that's all you want out of Scentsy, that is 100% fine. Nobody can fault you for that. And you could be a hobbyist for years and then one day decide that you're ready to take this to the next level. That's fine. But if you want to say that you are a business owner and you want to change your world and you want financial freedom and you want to be able to stay at home with your kids and go to Target and buy whatever you feel like buying and buy all the name brand things at Walmart or whatever, you need to treat this like a business. And when I say treat this like a business, that means that you are doing things that are duplicatable to your downline. This program right here is built for you to build it big and to treat it like a business. These are the things that I've put back into place so that I can actually treat Scentsy more like a business, because before I had my second kid, I could do all the things and I didn't need all these things in place, but I did. I didn't know that I did. And I'm disgusted at where I would be if I would have put all these things into place. So if you aren't running this like a business, having a system, having business hours, doing the work when you don't feel like it. Let me say it again for the people in the back. If this is a business, you do the work even when you don't feel like it. I don't feel like waking up and doing things all the time, but if I want to say that this is a business, I need to put my big girl panties on and get to work. And I didn't do that for a while. And I wasn't treating this like a business. I was simply flying by the seat of my pants and getting by. And if you're not treating this like a business, you've got to. Because think about it. When the manager at a boutique in town is sick, she can't just not open for that day. She's got to push through and keep on going. When you are the pharmacist at and I'm just talking about home-based businesses or locally owned businesses, because it's so true. If you are the only, for instance, my mother-in-law is the office manager at a dentist office. If she's not there, none of the other people at that office know how to do her job. So when she's sick, she's still got to go to work. When she doesn't feel like it, she's still got to go to work. Or you've got to just figure it out. You're not always going to feel like it. And that's something that I feel like in this business, people feel like it's okay to not work if you don't feel like it. Well, it's not okay for people at Walmart to just not go to work that day and not get fired if they don't feel like it. You've still got to continue to put in the work. I'm not saying that life doesn't happen, and I'm not saying that you can't take a day off to rest and refresh, but you can't continue to do that. If you don't do some things for your business today that you know you needed to do, then you need to pick it up tomorrow instead of getting in your feels and just continuing to push it off. If you're not treating this like a business, it's not going to flourish like a business. And I'm telling you right now that I will walk away from my teaching job the next time that my principal tells me that I can't go on a trip, because I'm treating this like a business now. And it's not that I wasn't before, but I didn't have systems in place. So the third reason that people fail in this business is that they're not willing to get uncomfortable. Nothing grows from comfort zones. I could give you a million quotes about comfort zones. I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to bore you with that. I think every single one of you guys know that if you are not willing to get uncomfortable, you are not going to grow. And I can say that from, I will show you my numbers if you want to see my numbers. So from 2017 was I grew a lot from 2015 to 2017. And then in 2018, or the end of 2017, I got pregnant. And in 2018, I had my baby, and I'm not a good pregnant person. I get depressed automatically, and just all of these things. And because I was suffering from postpartum depression and anxiety, and I was out of control of my body, I didn't feel like working. So I sat in my comfort zone and just did what I had to do to get by. And yes, I still got paid at Title every single month. Yes, I still recruited some people. Yes, I still earned top 100 of Marco Island. How? I have no idea. But I wasn't willing to get uncomfortable. And so I sat in that comfort zone, and all of 2018, I didn't grow. I was growing my leaders. I was growing other people. I was still investing into my team, but I wasn't investing into my personal business. I was not doing it because I didn't feel like getting uncomfortable. And I didn't step out of my comfort zone because I didn't feel like it. And guys, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to. Because if you don't, you're not going to grow. So instead of saying, Morgan, I stopped and I pulled over at this gas station because I know that I usually lose service when I go closer to my house. So I'm stopped right now. Hopefully I'm not losing you guys. It's not saying that I am. So hopefully it's not me, because I really want you guys to hear the rest of this. Okay, so not willing to get uncomfortable. Stop organizing your office. Stop inventing the wheel. Stop doing all of the things that you feel like doing, and get out of the house and get uncomfortable. Because let me tell you this, and she said this in this book today, and I literally was like, oh my gosh, how true is that? If your mouth is closed, your business is closed. Let me say that again. If your mouth is closed, your business is closed. If you are not posting on social media, if you are not alive on social media, your business is closed. Okay, good. I'm glad it's okay now, because that's why I stopped here. If your mouth is not open, your business is not open. So if you are not having conversations, getting out of your house and doing something, then you're not going to grow. Also, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable, stay-at-home moms, etc. She said this. A lot of people that are stay-at-home moms, or they have kids at home or whatever, they feel like they can continue to grow their business just while their kids nap, or all the way around that schedule. She believes that. I believe that you can still grow your business 100%. But she also said you need to get uncomfortable and take a business expense and hire a babysitter for 2 to 3 hours a week. Pay a teenager or a high schooler or a college student to come over for a couple hours so that you can actually go out and do some work. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom and you don't have the time, or you feel like your kids are holding you back. Guys, that's why my kids are still going to daycare and summer camp this summer, because last summer, when I had both of them at home, that's when I really sank into depression, because I couldn't get the things done that I wanted to get done and that I knew I needed to get done. And then by the time my husband got home, I was so tired and I made all the excuses and I wasn't getting out of my comfort zone. And you've got to do that. Okay, stop reinventing the wheel. Stop doing the things that don't matter. Open your mouth and go have conversations and do the things that are income producing before you go and do all the things that might make you feel good. Okay, and the fourth and final one about the fourth reason why people fail in this business is because they're not hungry enough. They're not hungry enough. And I definitely fell victim to that because I got in my feels and I got in my head and was like, I'm never going to be a superstar director. I'm never going to be able to quit my job. Like, I got all in my feels about not being enough. And I also wasn't hungry enough because I wasn't dreaming big enough, guys. This is the exact reason why I decided to do the program the way that I did, and why the entire first week was all about dreaming bigger and getting your why and figuring out what in the world you want out of this life. Because if you are not making plans to completely transform your life, you are not dreaming big enough. And when I say you're not hungry enough, I mean things such as life happens. You have a baby, you get depressed, you have a death in your family, your husband loses his job, or whatever. Life happens, and instead of using that as motivation to dive deeper into your business to get yourself out of that situation, I have seen so many people, me included, fall victim to their circumstances and use it as a excuse to not work their business instead of a reason to rise above. And y'all, I was there, y'all. I was there. 100% I was there. I was using my postpartum depression, having a baby, and not knowing how to be a mom to 2 kids as a reason to not work my business. Until one day I woke the F up and I was like, hell no, I'm going to use this as a reason, because Chastity's going to stay at home and Chastity's not going to be living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm going to take myself out of my circumstances regardless of the things that continue to be thrown at me. And for those of you that don't know my story, I can share a whole lot about that lately or later, but there has been it's been like the devil has been attacking me over the last 3 months with all the things that continue to be thrown at me, my children, my husband, my faith, everything. The devil has been fighting. But you know what? God is stronger. And God has provided me with all of these podcasts and all of these women in my life and all of the things that have really lifted me up out of that. And it's a God thing. And I decided that I was not going to use all of these things that kept happening to me as an excuse. I was going to use them as a reason to rise above, guys. And that is the difference. If you're not hungry enough, you've got to switch your mindset and realize that the things that are happening to you, you can use as a reason to rise above rather than sit around in your pity party and feel bad. Because guess what? Nobody is coming to rescue you. I love y'all, but nobody is coming to rescue you but you. You have got to pick yourself up. You have got to realize that you can do this in phone call. That you can do all of those things. So realize that when you're in your feels, it's okay to not be okay for a day, but then you've got to figure out why you're doing this. You have got to save yourself because nobody is coming for you. Have your why times 5 at the front of your planner. Have your 10-10-1 rule at the front of your planner and look at it every damn day if that's what you need to do. Every day. Don't you dare let someone who is lower than you or below you or criticizing you, don't you dare let them bring you down. Because guess what? You are doing way more than all of those people sitting back on the couch talking mess about you doing Scentsy while they're sitting over there feeling sorry for themselves. So you have got to figure out what is going to make you hungry. I can't tell you what that's going to be, but you can. And just know that that is why people stop. They go through a really, really high, and then they get down to a low and they don't know how to pull themselves out of it. They do. Everybody in Scentsy, I can promise you, can tell you that they've went through the dip. A really high, a little low, and then they don't know how to pull themselves out of it. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is the difference between the people that have quit this business and the people who are superstar directors is that they pushed through and got out of that dip. And it was because they were hungry. So find a reason that's going to push you. Okay. So just to sum up, the 4 reasons that people are not successful in this business: you're not coachable, they don't treat it like a business, you're not willing to get uncomfortable, and you're not hungry enough. The hungry enough part is really, really big. We all go through things, but you've got to figure out what is going to keep you rising. Okay. So I really hope this was helpful. Like I said, I didn't make this up. I was listening to this book, and it really spoke to me. She wasn't talking about Scentsy, but I sort of changed it around and added some of my own things in here. So I hope that this was helpful for y'all. Don't be any of these 4 things. If any of those 4 things were you have the opportunity to change it. You have the resources to run this business successful, and I just want every single one of y'all to know that there's room for every single one of us at the top, and you can rise above those circumstances, and you can share that story with people who are watching you. People are watching you even when you don't realize it. So you let that light shine, y'all. You complete this program. You encourage your team to complete this program, and you just do the damn thing, y'all. It's time. This year, it's it, y'all. So I hope y'all are having a good Tuesday. I'm going to get my baby and finally drive away from this gas station because people are staring at me because I can't drive any farther or I lose service. But y'all have a great day, and let me know if this was helpful. Love y'all.